We're joined now by musician and activist Roger Waters in New York. Many thanks for joining us on Al Jazeera and the News Hour. You, of course, have been involved in trying to lift the voice of Palestinians for a long time now. What is your initial reaction to what is happening there now?
Well, I've just been watching the last 20 minutes of your program. So, like Marwan Bishara, who mentioned this fact, I saw Netanyahu standing proudly and smugly in front of an F-16 or whatever that sleek-looking Israeli fighter jet was that was over his shoulder, boasting about his power to inflict pain on his neighbors. This is a classic example of the sociopath using his power and the power of his platform. This man feels inviolate. He feels that he can get away with anything. And the sad and sick thing is, he can. And why can he? Because exactly as your correspondent, Marwan Bishara, who I've just been watching, said, only Joe Biden or the government of the United States of America has the power to press the off button, turn off the switch of their genocidal bombing of the Palestinians in Gaza City. So, I'm stunned by the callous disregard for human life and human rights and freedom and the law and also the opinions of the whole of global civil society, who by and large more and more are coming to be 100% understanding that this racist apartheid exercise, which is the state of Israel, has got to be brought to heel by us, we, the people of the world, we, the peoples of the United Nations.
So let me pick you up on that. When you talk about looking at yourself as a musician, as a famous musician, what can you do to make a difference to what is going on in that particular conflict?
I can stand on this rooftop and shout at the top of my lungs. And I'm not saying until somebody hears me, because people do hear me. I actually do have a platform of sorts. I can encourage the choir to sing with a louder and louder and louder voice every day, not just in Palestine, but all over the world. To sing, we shall overcome together, because we will. Because this situation is completely untenable. Everybody with an IQ above room temperature knows that Israel is a failed Zionist experiment. It is over. This will not go on. The meeting I had before this, I had a webinar with some people in England. There's going to be a huge mass demonstration in London on Saturday where they're going to march. Hundreds of thousands of people will march carrying Palestinian flags from the embankment to Hyde Park. Okay, this is happening in cities all over the world. Why, I keep forgetting his name, Marwan Bishara was baffled, he claims, and I'm sure he is. I noticed as well in the previous clip, my friend Riyad Mansour, who I met in 2012 when I spoke at the United Nations, the Human Rights Commission, okay, when the Russell Tribunal was in New York discussing these matters. This is now 9 years ago, okay, and we're still looking at pictures of this man here in his blue shirt with his either dying or deeply, deeply damaged child in his arms. And yet, somehow the United States of America refuses to lift a finger to stop it. And they could. Joe Biden could stop this in a heartbeat.
It's interesting.
Why don't they? We honestly don't know. But that's all I can do. All I can do is to continue to express my absolute outrage and to try and stop people referring to this as a war or a conflict. It's not. It's the oppression of an indigenous people by a settler colonialist empire.
It's interesting.
By brute and bloody force.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Roger. It's interesting that you say you have a platform. You do have a platform as a very famous musician, and there are others like you who want to get their voice heard on this issue. But as you say, when it comes down to it, the governments of the world are holding back. How is it that platforms like yours can really make a difference?
Listen, my platform is not the fact that I used to be in the Pink Floyd. My platform is the fact that I've got a heart and I care, just like all my comrades all over the world who are in solidarity on this issue and many other issues. Okay, so that's where the platform is. We are many, many, many. There were 20 million of us in the streets in 2013. Before the invasion of Iraq, for instance. That's a lot of people. Okay, we didn't prevent Bush and Blair and Cheney and the rest of them from continuing with their insane endeavor in Iraq. But we did take to the streets and we did speak out and we were heard. And people recognize in us outpouring of our hearts in condemnation of this genocidal murder. People recognize in us that need for human beings to act collectively and to express a love for one another across all religions, nationalities, borders, walls, separation, this, that, and the other. And they recognize that that essentially is what brings joy to their lives, as much joy as we can get. And that the murder of your neighbors provides you with nothing in the end but darkness and misery. Okay, so that is what gives me a platform, is those beliefs, nothing to do with music.
OK, thank you for your time. Roger Waters speaking to us there from New York.
Thank you very much. Hey, Gaza, my heart is with you. My heart goes out to you. I bleed for you. Let's put an end to this. Ceasefire now.